As a real estate agent, having a single investor who buys multiple properties every year can transform your business. Instead of chasing one-off transactions, you cultivate repeat business, predictable commissions, and deeper relationships. To attract and keep these high-value clients, you need to speak their language. Understand how they build wealth, how they analyze deals, and how they secure financing. And that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. By mastering these principles, you'll not only impress potential clients, but also position yourself as their go-to agent for years to come. Investors are drawn to real estate because it offers multiple wealth engines. Properties appreciate over time, often faster than inflation. Rental units generate cash flow, steady monthly income after expenses and vacancy. The tax code provides generous deductions, depreciation, and deferral strategies that lower their taxable income. Tenants pay down mortgages, building the investor's equity even if they only put a small amount down. And real estate is uniquely leverageable. You can control a large asset with a small down payment. When you explain these benefits to your clients with confidence, you demonstrate why buying multiple properties makes sense and why they should work with you when they're buying multiple properties. To truly serve investors, adopt the mindset that they respect. Encourage them to find a compelling why, a clear financial goal like funding retirement or creating legacy wealth, and help them set big goals for their portfolios. Share how disciplined habits and proven models lead to consistent success. Commit yourself to continuous learning in the investment space. Read investment books, attend webinars, connect with mentors, and stay current on market trends. Track your own knowledge growth like investors track net worth, which is assets minus liabilities, of course. When you show clients that you live below your means, invest in your education, and reinvest in your business profits, that earns their trust and respect. You're often the first to spot opportunities. Develop a deal-finding system that prioritizes seller motivation. Motivated sellers might be moving unexpectedly, dealing with bad tenants or facing financial pressure, and they're more likely to entertain creative and lowball, if we're being honest, offers. Network constantly with other agents, wholesalers, and investors to keep your deal pipeline full. When you present a property to an investor, you need to know your numbers cold, and that starts with the total project cost. Here's what that includes: the purchase price, what the buyer agrees to pay; acquisition costs like closing fees, inspections, title insurance, and transfer taxes; holding costs, covering property taxes, insurance, utilities, and loan interest during rehab; repair or improvement costs, including labor, materials, permits, and a buffer for any surprises. Add these to get the total project cost and compare it to the after repair value of the home, what it will sell for or appraise at after the improvements. A common benchmark is the 70% rule. Investors pay no more than 70% of the ARV minus repair costs when they flip. Show them that calculation to prove you've analyzed this deal properly. If you show the math, they will trust the math. And if they trust the math, they will trust you. When analyzing a rental property, start with the gross monthly rent. From that, subtract your vacancy allowance, usually around 5 to 10%. Next, factor in operating expenses like property management, insurance, taxes, maintenance, utilities, and reserves. Then subtract your debt service. That's the principal and interest on any loans. What you're left with is the net operating income, or the NOI, a key number that investors and lenders alike rely on. From there, you can calculate the metrics that matter. The cap rate, which is the NOI divided by the purchase price. Higher cap rates means stronger unleveraged returns. The cash on cash return, which shows the investor's return on actual cash invested, not just paper profit. And the debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR, which compares NOI to debt payments. Lenders typically look for a DSCR of 1.2 or higher. This means that your income from that property is 1.2, 20% over what the monthly payment towards that debt would be. Mastering these numbers builds trust and helps you speak the language of serious investors. Investors often ask how to maximize returns with minimal capital. Explain leverage. Using a small down payment, they control an asset that grows in value. Upside leverage means using other people's money to amplify returns. If a $150,000 house bought with $30,000 down appreciates 6.1%, then the investor's cash-on-cash return can exceed 30%. Where does the rest of the money come from? Guide them through the options. Private lenders might be family, friends, or fellow investors offering funds for a down payment in exchange for interest. Hard money lenders provide short-term financing for flips, often covering 70 to 80% of the purchase and rehab costs. Equity partners bring the money while the investor brings the deal and the expertise, and then they split the profits. And some investors use self-directed retirement accounts like a 401k or IRA to lend on real estate and grow their savings tax advantaged. Encourage investors to build a reputation for closing deals and treating lenders fairly. Show them how refinancing, pulling equity out after appreciation, or principal paydown can provide tax-free capital for additional purchases. The more you understand these strategies, the more valuable you are to your clients. In today's market, financing creatively sets successful investors apart. Introduce these strategies. Lease option, also called rent to own. The investor leases a property with the option to buy later, often collecting above market rent and profiting when the option is exercised or assigned. Subject to financing. The investor takes over the seller's mortgage payments while the loan stays in the seller's name. It's a fast solution when a seller needs out without waiting for a full refinance. Seller financing. Here, the seller becomes the bank, accepting monthly payments over time. It's a flexible relationship-driven way to make a deal work without traditional lending sources. Wraparound mortgage. This lets the buyer make one payment to the seller, which covers both the original mortgage and the rest of the agreed purchase price. It's a wrap because it layers on top of the seller's existing loan. Partnerships. One person brings the capital, the other person brings the credit, the deal, or the management skills. It's all about trust and having clear written agreements in partnerships. Assumable loans. Some government-backed loans like FHA or VA can be taken over by a new buyer. This preserves the original low interest rate, a huge advantage in a rising rate market, especially with those beautiful COVID rates that we saw in 2020 through 2023. Private notes or lines of credit. Investors may use personal credit lines, business credit, or private promissory notes to fund down payments, repairs, or even entire purchases. As the agent, be ready to facilitate these structures. Recommend attorneys to draft documents, ensure sellers understand terms, and keep deals within legal boundaries. Investors expect their agents to negotiate aggressively on their behalf. Build rapport with sellers first, then ask questions to uncover their true needs. Offer multiple solutions such as lower price cash offers or higher price deals with favorable terms. Use negative phrasing to encourage sellers to reveal concerns and adopt a reluctant buyer stance. Be willing to walk away. Always present offers in writing to avoid misunderstandings. Encourage your investor clients to take action rather than overanalyze. Get them comfortable with making an offer, conducting due diligence, and closing when the numbers work. Emphasize buying for cash flow and intrinsic value, not speculation. Your guidance reduces their fears and fosters long-term loyalty. Your value to investors extends beyond finding properties. Assemble a network of lenders, wholesalers, contractors, inspectors, property managers, attorneys, and accountants. These relationships allow you to move quickly on deals and solve problems as they arrive. Stay in touch, provide referrals, and become the hub that connects your investors with reliable professionals. When you're the agent who has answers and resources, investors stick with you. Investors face recurring challenges as they grow their portfolios, and understanding these helps you advise them effectively. Decide whether to stick with or switch out of properties based on performance. Become a market expert in local laws, rents, and trends. Think in units and scale systematically. Control the property and negotiate every term, from purchase price to financing. Seek creative financing to improve cash flow and leverage. Maximize NOI by raising rents appropriately, cutting unnecessary expenses, and appealing taxes. Know all disposition options: selling, refinancing, or using 1031 exchanges. Associate with top talent only. Upgrade your team for increased leverage as you grow. Use written contracts for every single agreement. Minimize taxes through depreciation, deduction, and exchanges. Protect assets with insurance, LLCs, and trusts. Organize records meticulously. Budget for capital improvements to maintain value. Manage tenants with a robust screening and prompt maintenance. Protect your time by delegating low-value tasks. Stay the course, adhere to the plan, and ignore market noise. Being proactive about these issues ensures your client's success and demonstrates that you're more than a transaction facilitator. You're a strategic advisor. Today we've covered why real estate builds wealth, how to cultivate the investor mindset, how to analyze deals like a professional, how leverage and creative finance amplify returns, how to negotiate and take action, how to build a network, and how to navigate the common challenges investors face. By mastering these concepts, you'll attract clients who buy multiple properties every single year, secure repeat business, and stand out as a true investment advisor. Start applying these strategies, deepen your knowledge, and watch your real estate career thrive. If you'd like to see us cover any other specific topics, please leave those topics in the comments. We'll be happy to adhere. Thank you for watching.